I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite
podcast
on the Citadel.
Hello and welcome to Andromenerds, a Mass Effect Andromeda podcast. This is episode number 2. My name is Minius of Minius GC, and with me are my fellow co-hosts, the amazing Anima from Anima Gaming.
Hi.
That's right. Tucker from Mass Effect Follower.
Hello, everyone.
Tucker, you need a nickname.
Well, I mean, I used to be called Tucker the but I don't think I can really use that.
Already. Okay.
Cue the bird call.
Okay.
And the one and only BioFan.
The name is self-explanatory.
It is self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was going to ask BioFan a quick question. I am curious. Why do you go by BioFan? Why don't you use your name?
I don't know. I've just always kind of used it. Like, enough people know my name. Like, people that work at BioWare know my name. I don't know. I've just gone by BioFan for, like, trademarking purposes.
Do you guys want to know a secret?
Sure.
What?
My name is not actually Minius.
Oh, I feel so betrayed.
It's
I
totally
figured.
made up.
I thought your name was actually Minius.
No, it's Minius, and it's not a real name, but I think it's cool, so I use it. Similar reasons. BioFan makes sense. Minius doesn't make any sense at all, but that's part of the fun.
My name opens a few doors. Like, people know immediately kind of what I'm about, so it kind of helps.
You're a fan of biology.
That, too.
That's the one.
What about you, Anima? Is Anima?
No, I wish it was. I got it from Final Fantasy X, the summon Anima.
Oh, so I'm the only one that actually uses my name.
Yep.
You weirdo. You were named and you use a real name?
Well, yes, I don't go by Mass Effect Follower. Although part of the thing with Mass Effect Follower is that there are a few others that work at Mass Effect Follower. I have a few writers, and I just brought on a new video editor, so it'd be kind of weird if that's what I go by.
Yeah, we're all kind of on our own channels, so I think for us it kind of works. But for you, it'd be weird.
Yeah. I wish I could just bloody bring on a new editor.
I can't pay people, so...
No.
So we've got a topic, the main topic for today's show, and it's an absolute doozy. And basically, it's one loaded question, which encompasses a whole bunch of other questions, but how does...
A question that leads to questions. Oh, boy.
Questions lead to questions. How does Mass Effect get from the Milky Way galaxy to the Andromeda galaxy?
Through a spaceship.
On the big spaceship things.
Big spaceship. Question answered. All right, next topic.
Wait, yeah. Yeah, next question.
Moving on.
End of the podcast.
And roll credits.
There's a couple things that go into that, right? I mean, first of all, how the hell...
And cue the awesome disco
How the hell do
music.
you make a sequel to Mass Effect?
I don't know. I can't even...
I have it take place in an entirely different galaxy. I mean, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's where they're having the
Yeah.
story totally... It's kind of like a spin-off, but better.
Yeah. They couldn't continue from Shepard, really.
Well,
at
no,
this
and they
point.
couldn't really have a prequel either because we know the events.
Yeah, there's not some... Like, I mean, you could, but the story would be so much smaller and less important in scale.
And I feel like choices wouldn't be as influential if it's a prequel.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, you kind of decide your own prequel anyway. Like, you decide your past and stuff, so...
Yeah, Earthborn, survive, or colonist, and what was the other one? Earthborn, colonist, and...
War Hero?
Oh, yeah, War Hero.
Ruthless.
Soul Survivor?
Was that a starter?
Isn't it
Yeah.
Ruthless?
Ruthless?
Oh, Ruthless.
Yeah, where you go and you kill a bunch of
It wasn't. I don't think it was Ruthless. It was... Was that a starter? Because I thought the starter was like colonist, Earthborn, and
Colonist,
there's one...
Earthborn, or Spacer.
Yeah,
Spacer?
I think
Is that
what
it?
you're talking about, Minius,
Spacer.
are ones in the second one.
I'm talking about the second one, yeah.
Yeah.
Where you're Soul Survivor,
War Hero.
War Hero, or Ruthless.
And then it goes on to class. What class did you guys pick? Curious.
Adept. What's
Adept.
up? Using
Yeah.
the biotics.
Yep.
I was all over the place.
I did soldier.
I would love to have one playthrough where I'm like, that's my playthrough. I romanced this person. I did this. I don't see it like that. I played the games way too many times.
Oh yeah, I
Way
know,
too
but
many
I mean, what
times.
was your first one? Like, what your first Mass Effect game? What class did you play as?
Very first one, I made the mistake and played as a soldier. I believe that was a mistake. It was not as fun.
That's the one I picked.
Although I really enjoyed soldier in Mass Effect 2. But in Mass Effect 1, I did not enjoy the soldier class as much. Adept is probably the way to go.
Yeah, I actually picked Soldier the first time in the very first Mass Effect, and then I went to Adept in the second one and just had a better time.
Because you punch stuff with blue stuff, and it's great.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we've all played as a bunch of different classes, but I feel like the soldier is the canon Shepard story.
Yeah,
Or
I think
class.
that's like the canon
Yeah.
commercial Shepard.
Yeah. So that's the one that I picked, is like the canon one. So
I really enjoyed the soldier in 2. And I also enjoyed it in 3, though not quite as much. Because I thought the most awesome part about playing a soldier in 2 was the fact that you had all those guns. And if you could bring all those guns with you in Mass Effect 3, but then you weighed like 80 million pounds.
And you couldn't walk.
Yeah.
and there's also your cooldown was
You walked like an old man and could only do one ability.
I remember playing the demo of Mass Effect 3, and I click, I'm going to play a soldier, and I get there, and I got all these weapons, and my cooldown was like 25 minutes. I thought the game was broken.
Whoa. 25 minutes?
I mean, it was like 30 seconds, but I mean, I was just like,
It was like 3 years.
I want to cast something, and I was like, don't worry about it. You just got to wait till all these enemies come here. Like, what the hell is the point of this game if you can't cast abilities?
that actually brings up a really good point. How you talked about the Mass Effect 3 demo. Do you guys think Mass Effect Andromeda is going to have a demo?
I don't
Boy,
know.
Because I think it's
Yeah?
going to.
Most games do. Inquisition had one. That or I'm thinking of like the Xbox exclusive or like EA exclusive thing or whatever.
Like the closed alphas or closed betas.
No, it's like you had to pay for membership. Oh gosh, what's it called? You have to pay like $5. EA Access. Yeah,
Access?
there was EA Access for it, where you could play like up through the hinterlands and no further than that, kind of. So like you got like a bit of the game, but like a little bit of it.
Well, I remember that the Mass Effect 3 beta was multiplayer, and there was also some people were able to get a few missions of Mass Effect 3, like the first one, and can't remember the other one. It was
There's usually always something. At the end of the day, there's always at least something.
I just assumed it'd be something similar to a beta.
yeah, that's why I'm thinking is that it's going to have something like that maybe one or two multiplayer maps, and maybe not the opening mission, because I feel like that's going to be a big thing.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be pretty
Yeah.
spoilery.
But maybe like the third mission into Andromeda, like, where it's not a huge one, but you're landing on a new planet.
I've never actually played any of the like BioWare demos like at all. I didn't even know they existed until this exact moment. But like, so for you guys, I assume that you guys have played the demos, right? Because you're like talking about them.
It's been so long though.
So long, we just need something, anything. But
the newest one is like a good 4 years old now. I don't know.
Jesus. But did playing like a demo like impact how you felt about the game? Because I felt like going through Mass Effect with just no kind of like story or demo or anything kind of had a lot of impact, but I don't know.
It gets me more excited usually because I'm like, I want the rest of it. This is great. I think with Andromeda though,
Oh, I see. It's like a little morsel.
it would be like pretty spoilery, so you may just get like a basic planet kind of thing to explore,
Yeah, like maybe the planet that we've seen a lot of,
like the desert one.
the
sandy
trailers
guy.
on. Not the desert one, the one that shows like the station where the Krogan is dropping the guy off of
That
the
one
ledge.
seems like it'd be pretty
whatever
story spoilery though.
Depends on how important that guy is.
Like, I guess, but
That's true.
yeah, because that's the one that they've kind of shown us the most, and that was also what the leaked footage was from as well. So I feel like if they would do a story mission, that it might be that one, because that's the one that people kind of know
Right.
the most, which is very little.
One important
but
thing
still
I'd like to bring up though is like that leaked footage and that footage that was sort of related to it in the trailer. The leaked footage was pretty earlier in the developmental process, and also in trailers they kind of do this thing I like to call trailer magic, where if an asset isn't ready, they'll swap out characters or they'll take characters out if it's too spoilery. So, like, don't totally trust everything you see in trailers. It is technically in-game, but it could be switched out. So it may not look exactly that way in the end.
And also, that footage leak was someone's... I don't even think that was meant... That was like an in-house portfolio.
That was an in-house portfolio that they thought would never be found on the internet. I don't know how they could have thought that.
Do we know whose portfolio that was? Do we know whose portfolio
even
that
if
was?
we did, let's not out them on the internet any further.
I mean,
since they're
really
already in trouble because of it. So let's not
BioFan knows who it is. Confirmed.
get them any more in trouble since it was an accident.
You guys like really know your stuff. You're like, oh yes, it was from a hidden portfolio and the blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my god, the trailers aren't real. Like I'm still stuck at that point.
I was
I'm
a
still stuck at
member
that point.
of the BioWare social network CSI, so...
Oh, all right. Not bad.
Are you flashing your internet badge right
Yeah,
now?
Yes.
he totally is.
I'm polishing
his
it.
internet wang right
got
now.
got my CSI BSN badge over here. Yeah.
I want an internet badge.
Yeah, I want one too.
All right, future Mass Effect Andromenerds giveaway. We give away badges.
Internet badges.
They're invisible.
I'm gonna hand draw them so everyone who's seen my drawings know how disappointed they're gonna be.
No, don't say that. They'll definitely improve your chances of getting an attractive mate. We've got to sell the podcast, dude.
Actually, let's promote something a little
Minius.
bit. For the next couple weeks, whoever, like, if you send us an email with a good question, if we use that question, Minius will personally email you back a response with that that medal.
Okay.
Or with that little
Good.
CSI
The
download
email
thing.
address, by the way, andromenerds@gmail.com. If you don't know how to spell it, don't worry. None of us do either, but we got it right in the title of the video, so you can just copy that.
Minius, no, you're holding us to these high standards. Who knows if we got it right in the title, man?
But we'll also have it in the link in the description down below.
That is correct. Or
we've only-
if you pay attention. I believe my description box last week was not on par.
Didn't you just copy and paste it?
No, by the time I got to copy and pasting it, BioFan was all ready to go.
Oh, sure.
So
Wait, what happened?
don't worry about it. It's less
Sorry,
important than the actual badge and feeling of accomplishment you get by emailing us a great
Yes.
question.
The feeling
yeah.
of you just keep peddling the same thing over and
Because we
over.
love to hear from you guys. Woo!
Oh, and speaking of that, I do want to point this out because I don't know if you guys noticed in all of your comments, but this one guy went to all of our videos and was disappointed that none of us talked about if we like pandas.
Oh, yeah, I love that guy.
Oh, I love
He didn't come to mine. I feel left out.
Oh, he didn't?
No, I feel
Yeah.
left out.
He probably just came to yours, Tucker.
Mark, we like pandas.
Really? He didn't go to you guys? I could have sworn I saw him in the other, because I checked the comments of your videos as well to see if there are any questions in there we could use, and I could have sworn I saw it in everyone else's.
I do not remember a panda guy. I am going to look.
It was in mine for sure, yeah.
What?
Well, we all mentioned favorite animals off the cuff. All right, pandas on a scale of 1 to 10.
10.
8, 7,
Wait,
8,
I'm gonna-
4.
7 or 8? Wow.
4.
That's
Harsh,
pretty
dude.
low.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to go with at least a
They're slow.
9.5.
Do you base your animals on how fast they are? Like your favorite animal?
Well, I mean, I'm not. That's not a key factor, but I mean, that's got to be decided.
I like how I said 4 and you guys are picking on Tucker.
I don't have the panda comment either.
We're so left out. Oh,
Tucker's
Mark?
like, oh yeah, the comments everywhere.
Mark, next time you want to make fun of us for not mentioning your favorite animal, you need to go to everybody's comment section and call us out.
No, you need to go to every single video everybody has made ever. And post the comment. I mean, we've made quite a few videos, right? It's worth a few views, right?
I think Anima just wants more
I think
views.
Anima just wants a
Totally.
comment on each of her video to boost every single one. Okay.
Do it. I need the SEO, okay? Anyway, should we get back on topic?
Yeah, I'm going to try desperately to steer us back on topic. Mass Effect making a huge transition from Andromeda to the Milky Way. Andromeda, over 2.5 million light years away. In order to make a sequel properly, I think we're all kind of on the same page. A setting change is needed.
It's a clean slate. They're
Clean slate. The ending was
leaving the trilogy behind, moving forward.
ending was heavily fractured.
Squeaky clean. Don't you sleep the whole way? Like,
So what happens?
I would hope so.
As we know so far, what happens is we leave the Milky Way galaxy some point before the end of Mass Effect 3, probably a lot before the ending of Mass Effect 3, but we leave, we know, before then, and we get in a spaceship, and we are in some form of stasis for several hundred years, and then we arrive in Andromeda. Ryder wakes up, breathes, and goes, "We're here," or whatever thing that was in the trailer.
So you are going 100% they leave before the ending of Mass Effect 3.
Well, yeah, it's confirmed.
oh, is it confirmed?
It's confirmed, yeah.
It was heavily hinted. Are you going confirmed?
It wasn't. I don't think it was confirmed, but they have stated that the ending of Mass Effect 3 is not going to influence Andromeda.
Therefore, Therefore, it's confirmed by default.
Yeah, I don't know if that's confirmed. We
If
got
the
different...
ending isn't,
Well, I mean, I think
if the ending isn't affecting it, then we leave before the ending, because the ending has a pretty big effect on pretty much everything.
I mean,
Yeah.
The fact that Ryder was not green and sparkly.
yeah. I think though that in Mass Effect Andromeda, the launch of that is going to take place after Mass Effect 2, but before Mass Effect 3.
That's a good time point, because Shepard will be like working on Earth and probably too busy to know that what's ever happening. That, or he won't like comment on it in the game.
Well, I mean, a lot of people think that Shepard doesn't know, and that's why he never talks about it. I'm like, how are you not going to notice
but
that?
then how
It's
would?
huge.
But then, don't you think it would have been mentioned by Shepard at some point of, oh, by the way, if we fail, it's okay. We have people going to a different galaxy. Like, don't you think that would have come up?
Oh no, I think he was too busy trying not to fail.
Oh, that would take the steam out of Mass Effect 3. Like, don't worry about it. This game doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. That's a really
That is a
solid
good point.
I mean, when I think about it, I reckon, wouldn't it have happened during Mass Effect 3, like a last ditch effort, but that would explain why Shepard might not have mentioned it, because he was like busy,
But don't you
sorting
think
out the whole world.
that sounds totally logical? But
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing
the
about
big
that.
thing: how do you get that many ships away out of the galaxy through bazillions of Reapers
Oh, that's true.
without like getting blown to smithereens?
And not just that, but also the amount of assets that it would be used. I mean, they were trying to stop the Reapers from destroying everything. I don't think they would have had the extra assets to do that.
Yeah, it kind of
to create the Andromeda.
seems like
That's
they were
true.
pretty stretched thin. I also kind of think another good time point, if it's within Shepard's lifetime, because it could have happened before, but if it was within Shepard's, I say quote marks, lifetime, because between kind of in the intro part of Mass Effect 2 when Shepard dies and then he or she is out of commission for a while they're being brought back to life, that could be a good time point, because then Shepard would have had no idea what that happened at all if they left during that. Because didn't it take like 2 or 3 years for Shepard to be brought back?
Yeah, that's the window that makes sense. I could see Shepard, hey, there are Reapers coming. And was like, oh no, but we got Shepard. And then Shepard goes down. They're like, oh no.
Oh no, Shepard's gone. We better leave.
Shepard's gone. We got to get the hell out of here.
Let's get the hell out of here, y'all. Bye, Felicia.
And well, here's the thing about that. Well, here's the thing about that though, is that in Mass Effect Andromeda, it's definitely showing that humans are a big part of it. Humans were still considered not worth anything by the other races during Mass Effect 2.
Well, isn't it? Well, they've said it's, quote, a predominantly human story, so maybe it's mostly humans and then a few aliens.
Would it make sense? I'm just throwing this out there, but wouldn't it make sense for it
You
to...
throw, girl, you throw.
I'm gonna throw, girl. Would it
You do
make
it.
sense for it to happen, like, before Mass Effect at all?
That also makes a whole lot of sense, because you leave...
I think
And
that
then-
doesn't make much sense, but go ahead and go first, BioFan.
I think it makes sense because you...
Yeah, I don't think it makes sense either.
Because
Let's
you...
stomp all over BioFan before we can talk.
Okay.
I'm sorry, dude. I shouldn't have said anything.
This is because of the panda
All
comment.
because of the friggin'
I'm just
panda.
asking like a harmless question.
So if we leave before, then Shepard either wouldn't know about it, maybe, because it does take several hundred years. So it still technically would be after Mass Effect 3, which is what they're saying, but that confused a lot of people. It is technically after, but you're not going to see the after in the Milky Way. You're seeing later, technically, in time, but in Andromeda. So that would still...
Here's one of the largest issues. You've got this galaxy. It's the Milky Way galaxy. It's huge. There are like 400 billion stars. And I mean it. I'm not exaggerating. There are like 400 billion stars. Why the hell, if you aren't afraid of anybody coming, wouldn't you just go to another star nearby?
Well, if I think about what you're saying right now, like maybe I don't really put much stock in this. I'm just kind of wondering about it. But wouldn't it make a little bit of sense potentially for them to be trying to find like a brand new area to take as their own, like totally brand new, away from everything?
Like the Pilgrims.
Yeah, like a pilgrim or
There
something.
are plenty of those within the Milky Way, though. Like, there are plenty of, like, planets that don't have, like, sentient beings, but are totally habitable.
So the issue here is Andromeda, as we've mentioned a couple times, 2.5 million light years away. That's a very long distance.
It's a pretty long way away.
There's only a couple reasons that you would want to go there in the first place.
Right.
One, you want to try something crazy. It'd be fun to like, hey, let's sail around the world like back in the 1400s when your sailboat's all leaky and stuff. That's crazy.
Like, maybe it's for science.
But you want to do it just to do it, right? Because that sounds awesome. Yeah. Or you're totally freaked out. The Milky Way is about to be destroyed. You need to get the hell out of the Milky Way.
Ooh, I have a new theory.
Go, new theory, go.
Okay.
Go.
Originally, there was the original ending of the trilogy had to do with like dark energy, like threatening the galaxy or something, right? So maybe like
I don't know if that was the original ending, but it was an ending at some point.
It was an ending that almost happened but didn't. Like they teased it with Tally's recruitment mission in ME2, right? Like there was something weird going on with the star.
Dark energy, that's troubling.
So they could take that as like this was happening and like million of years from now or something, like this was gonna threaten the galaxy. So why not leave now and start a colony so we can all eventually move over or something? Because Andromeda has 1 trillion stars, so there's some room to move in.
More. The latest estimate I saw was 1.4 trillion. I think they have no idea. No idea. They have no clue how many stars
Space
there.
is so big, dude.
Okay, so its circumference is like 10 times the size of the Milky Way, I think, right? And then its concentration is even denser than the Milky Way. So it's bigger and more full of stars. It's just huge.
I just want to point out there's like, what is it, 6 billion people on Earth or something like that?
7 now.
Like 7 billion?
Yeah. There'll be 8 by the end of the podcast, but go ahead.
So there's more unique stars in Andromeda than there are people on Earth by like 100
Stop.
There's more unique stars in the Milky Way than there are people on Earth.
Stop. You're making me feel so insignificant right now.
So there are over 200 billion galaxies to go to. So that's how many sequels there are to the Mass Effect universe. Because we're going to move on from Andromeda after that to one of the...
So that means everyone could get their own galaxy.
Everyone get their own galaxy. You can have like 4 or 5 of them.
That sounds kind of lonely, though.
Awesome.
It's very lonely. So here's tying into all this, and I came up with this theory a while ago as I was desperately trying to think of how this is going to work. It ties perfectly in with the previous trilogy, and it has to do with Reapers, where in Mass Effect 1, Shepard shows up, finds out there's Reapers coming. Enough people realize that, hey, something's about to go down. We need to get out of this galaxy. And they leave. Sometime between the end of Mass Effect 1 and the time the Reapers show up, or at least until the time the Reapers take over the Milky Way in Mass Effect 3. And the direct reason they're going to Andromeda is because, hey, listen, these Reapers, they've wiped out advanced civilization like 20,000 consecutive times. We don't really have a shot. So in desperation, they leave and they get in a ship, go into hyperstasis, and fly 2.5 million light years away. Is fly the right word? Can you fly in space?
Yeah.
Glide?
Yeah,
float?
fly,
Let's call it
travel.
fly.
But yeah, fly's good. I like that theory. It's a pretty popular kind of idea. But a lot of times when that's brought up, people are like, people didn't believe Shepard or whatever. but at the same time, I'm kind of like, well, there was a Reaper that kind of attacked the Citadel. Somebody had to see it, you know?
Well, there are a couple different, like, there are Spectres that believed him. Cerberus, for instance, believed him.
Oh, please tell me this
or
is not a
her.
giant Cerberus operation. Please. No.
We're not getting there. But basically, if you're going to try to match up, like, a sequel to the Mass Effect trilogy, there are going to be issues no matter what you do.
So
it's going to be very difficult for them to have the absolute perfect connection between these games. But that one makes the most sense. It cuts out the ending and all that jazz. Do you think jazz still exists in the Mass Effect universe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure it's somewhere. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that is my theory. I got it in a video from a while back, but
Going back to that trillion thing, I looked it up, and a trillion seconds is 31,709.8 years.
yeah, I actually did that calculation once and it freaked me out.
So it's a pretty. A trillion is a lot.
A trillion seconds ago, like, nobody could work metal in human history.
Yeah, like a trillion seconds ago, we were.
Dude, speaking of history, I've been doing a lot of research on that subject.
Self-promotion, go.
So what were we doing a trillion seconds ago, Tucker?
I mean, if we weren't working with metal, then we would be a trillion. I actually have the script up right here.
He was ready and prepared.
Paper would have been roughly invented in China.
Cool.
No, this is 33,000 years ago.
31.
Oh, 33,000. So way early.
People
BC.
weren't writing; they were throwing rocks at each other.
This is really making my head hurt. I'm like feeling existential right now. You know, when you think about how big the world is and how small you truly are in it, and you're just like, damn, you know, it's weird.
Another cool thing though is like while it's bigger, it's also more dense. So like a solar system in the Milky Way would be farther away. They would be usually on the average farther away from each other than they would in Andromeda. They'd be closer. Mm-hmm. So maybe like space flight was a lot easier. So different alien races bumped into each other easier. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, okay. I found the stuff. So I don't know when you talk about metal, but we got at 5,500 BC was the first evidence of copper smelting, and so before that, at around a trillion seconds ago, the first evidence of domesticated animals was like showing around this time of 13,000 to 10,000 BC. So that's around the time when we were first domesticating sheep, pigs, goats, cows.
It's actually like 20,000 years before that.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, 20.
There's no history there. Don't worry about it.
There's nothing really.
There's no history there.
There's people playing with dirt.
I mean,
that is pretty much it.
I like playing with dirt actively.
It's like agriculture, maybe.
Well, at the Mass Effect history of that time, the Krogan homeworld Tachanka entered a nuclear age.
There you go.
Which is when the Krogan started nuking themselves, and they devolved into clans at that point.
Wow.
So that was a trillion seconds ago.
No, that you're still not grasping a trillion. It's 33,000. That's just a couple, like 10, 15,000 years after the Protheans get wiped out.
Oh,
All right, well, okay, so at 30,000 BC is the first evidence of domesticated dogs.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, but
that's pretty much dead on.
I'm just hearing BioFan in the background, like, yeah, okay.
A trillion is a lot.
Oh, no, I understand that. You can't understand that, but I'm just like, oh, I have the script right here. It's like at 33,000 BC is the first evidence of when we domesticated dogs.
Okay. That works. So dogs and dirt. Cool. Moving on. What's next?
Rock throwing.
Dogs and dirt and pigs. Okay, I was going to say, another fan question that this kind of reminded me of with the Krogans nuking themselves was a fan asked if all of the races got into a all-out brawl, who would win?
Is this one-on-one?
No, like the armies. Or at least that's what I'm guessing from the comment of it.
Is this pre-genophage
I
or
don't know.
post-genophage?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of qualifiers with this.
Let's make it fair. Let's do let's say before Mass Effect 1, like before Mass Effect 1.
Okay, then Asari, maybe?
If it's one-on-one, it's going to be the Turians.
Yeah, I could see that because they have
they're
like,
the most
best
combat
they have the best army.
If it's one-on-one, you're taking away the Asari's best attribute, which is forming alliances and diplomacy. And that's not really fair.
But I don't think that.
No, this is an all-out brawl. Everyone is fighting everyone.
Yeah, this is
scenario.
all out fight. By the way, when we do
can-
fan questions, we should mention the fan's name for the podcast purposes, like their username.
That's what I'm trying to find right now, actually.
I can imagine all the races coming together to wipe out the Krogans first, like strategically, and then they'd fight amongst themselves.
Oh, you think that they would all kind of attack the Krogan first?
Maybe, because the Krogans one-on-one could probably destroy anybody.
So they might be like, hey, guys, like, let's take out the one that could totally kill everyone, and then we can fight amongst ourselves, kind of thing.
So by that logic, the Turians would come out on top.
I think the Turians would come out on top in most situations in this hypothetical.
Calibrations.
All right,
bloodbath.
so I found the YouTube comment. It's from Mark Team, and then in parentheses it's Mark Team 1000, and his exact thing is debate about a hypothetical war in the original Mass Effect universe with species will win if, for example, the Turians are alone in the fight. So yeah, one-on-one fight.
He might be asking whether or not the Turians could beat everybody at once.
In which case the answer is no.
Oh.
No.
Well, I don't think any race would win that fight.
However,
I think the answer is maybe.
Which race do you think
if
would win?
this is pre-Genophage, I think the Krogan would win.
Totally.
Totally.
Oh, well, I mean, the Genophage were made to stop the Krogan from beating everyone, but I don't know. I was contemplating between like the Solarians because of how smart they can create things. If it's one-on-one,
I mean,
how smart.
But their military power is
their military power is weak, but their brain
like
power
they have to have
is
time to create these super weapons. I don't think they could do that when the like Turians and Krogan are like trying to kill them all.
yeah. I mean, like Solarian and Asari are more like guerrilla warfare types, but in all out brawl, like Krogan and Turian definitely would come out on top. I like how no one's mentioning humans. They just suck.
Yeah, we suck.
Oh no, humans would get their ass kicked.
If the humans get into the battle and you give them an extra 100 years, it might be humans.
Maybe. Yeah,
Given how fast they're expanding, how many planets they're grabbing,
and how fast we evolve. Yeah.
their birth rate is rivaling like Krogan's
Well,
and stuff.
I mean, that's also during a time of. I mean, the human expansion was also not during a huge all-out brawl between all the races. They were kind of allowed that because other races accepted them in.
Okay, so basically, if the Turians are alone in the fight, they probably are going to lose. If the Turian and everyone is alone in the fight and fighting each other, Turians win. That's our judgment.
Our judgment. Okay.
I mean, let's be honest. Like the Elcor, the Vorka, they're out. They're dead. They're gone.
Hanar!
Yeah,
Team Hanar!
We know we're losing a battle, but we have the most style points. We're okay.
See, again, what I'm trying to think about is what about the Solarian task group, like the special task group?
They
But
don't
they're
have enough of those compared to the mighty Krogan and Turian armatas.
Armatas.
So do we? If we can examine.
Well, what I'm trying to think about is what about like small little insurgents, like small little groups that they'll go and they'll kill high ranked people, because you might have a really strong military power, but you get a few people that are really good that they can sneak in and kill some of the higher people, and anarchy goes out.
Yeah, but you're talking the entire races, though, not like.
So they had that ability against the Krogan in the Krogan rebellions, and it didn't do them shit.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's the issue. There is it's awesome. The STG it's just an awesome organization to begin with, but it's much more effective if you're not in a war. It's a preventative measure, really. Because they went in and actually officially the Krogan rebellion started with STG and Asari commandos attacking the Krogan preemptively, and that stunned the Krogan, but they were totally fine like 50 years later.
Because they're badass.
So if we think about it, The genophage was made specifically to neuter, in every sense of the word, Krogans. So wouldn't they be recognized as the universally biggest threat? So wouldn't they win? I don't know, my mind.
Everybody's one-on-one and the Krogans are healthy? Yeah, probably.
Well, no, this is post-genophage.
If it's pre-genophage, they'll definitely win. If it's post,
Yes.
maybe not. Because they can't refresh their numbers fast enough. That's why they were
Yeah.
such a threat, is because they could refresh their numbers so fast.
The Corians wouldn't last that long because, first off, just how frail they kind of are.
Oh,
in
they're
general.
so frail, and they don't have any resources.
No, all they really, I mean, the Corian, so the Corians would be out. Vorka, like all the small races. So it really, I mean, it really comes down to Turians, Krogan, Solarians, and Asari.
Yeah.
Right?
I
Am
think
missing
it's
any?
Turians and Krogan, and the other one that you want to throw in there, if we want to throw in more caveats, would be Rachni.
Oh my god, the Rachni.
Oh, right, the
We've
Rachni.
been discussing this for like 20 minutes. Should we maybe move on?
Never!
Yeah.
Who would
We should
win?
probably move on.
This is a fun
Who
conversation.
would win, a
Probably.
goose or a panda?
This is a fun conversation.
Go, goose or panda?
Moose.
Who'd win in a fight?
Moose.
Panda?
Panda.
Moose.
Goose.
Panda.
Goose through aggression alone.
You think a goose could kill a panda?
I said moose.
Oh, you said moose. That makes
I
more
said
sense.
moose.
Was it- I didn't
But
say
the geese
moose.
could
Fair.
terrify them
goose.
away to, charge all angry and,
Mass Effect Andromeda podcast, everybody.
Well, here's something else that was brought up. So you're in Andromeda. Are there going to be something like a mass relay in Andromeda that lets you get around?
I don't think so. Because
Maybe, maybe not.
I mean, the Mass Effect relays were set up by the Reapers.
But
So unless another... Yeah?
But you have to think that there hopefully hasn't been Reapers in Andromeda, so maybe with those bazillion years they've had without 50,000-year cycles, maybe at some point some race invented some sort of hyperdrive accelerating apparatus thing in Andromeda. That, or there's also the fact that because the systems are so much closer together, we may not even need a mass relay. Like, we may just go with, like, a cluster, like the Helios
makes
cluster
sense.
from the, like, survey thing. So maybe, like, because they're closer together, it will feel about as big as the Milky Way, but it won't be the entire galaxy, you know? Because they're so much closer together.
Yeah, that's what I think, is that... I don't think mass relay... I mean, I'm sure that there's going to be some form, like once we meet the natives of the Andromeda Galaxy and everything like that, I'm sure they're going to have some form of technology that lets them have, like, FTL travel. But I don't think something like the mass relays are going to be in Andromeda.
Because I wonder how advanced they're going to be, because the Reapers giving the mass relays allowed the races in the Milky Way to advance faster, but they're not being Reapers in Andromeda may allow the races to advance since they're not getting wiped out every 50,000 years. So I don't know how it's going to go.
I think specifically in the game that's going up called Mass Effect Andromeda, it's only taking place in a cluster. There will be no massive transportation system. That does not say, though, that in Andromeda there's another one.
There could be a small transportation system.
There might be a smaller transportation system.
Like, remember
some-
that concept art of that big black thing with, like, that rainbow light thingy that kind of looked like a mass relay?
I mean, wasn't that confirmed to be an original concept for Mass Effect 1?
No, because it's an Andromeda concept art. Hold on.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I think it's a remnant vault,
sworn that-
but
What's the... Do you guys have that on hand so I can look at it?
I'm looking it up. Oh, here it is.
Are you talking about, like, it looks like a big kind of T?
Hold on.
Because I thought that was...
It has...
that was
They released-
disproven to be concept for Mass Effect 1.
No, it's for Andromeda. They released it on N7 Day while they're working on Andromeda. It was one of the first concept arts for Andromeda.
yeah, N7 Day 14. N7 Day 14, they released, like 7 screenshots.
But they released it, like, the N7 Day where they released a bunch of initial concept art for Andromeda, right?
Oh, that. I thought you were talking about, because I've seen it posted on the Reddit sometimes where, like, it's like a T kind of thing, and people think that that's just the new relays, and that's what was proven to be.
Do you mean the video?
Yeah, that video
That
thing.
video thing also came from the same portfolio that other leak came from, but that was that was I think maybe confirmed to be from the original trilogy. I forget, but this concept art is definitely for Andromeda.
It was from the original trilogy. That was original concept for what the mass relays would be.
So this is connected, that very image you're talking about. Here's what I think it is, and it's also from the leak. It's a remnant elite vault, which is an orbital space station. Because the architecture looks very similar to another screenshot from that very same N7 day that's kind of got angled black things that could also be remnant. So there are two kinds of remnant vaults. One that's on the ground, you get a big space key, you go to an orbital space station that has all the good stuff in it. Massive speculation.
Well, I applaud them for their use of rainbows.
I still haven't seen this image, by the way. Oh no, I see it.
Oh, she sees
Oh
it.
yeah,
Okay.
there is a rainbow thing. It looks a bit
It's
like
a rainbow.
Wow, I feel really represented right now. I mean, what is it? Is it like that's really cool. Okay. It kind of looks like a relay, but it's not, huh?
I agree with Minius on it. It's probably one of those remnant bolt thingy-majigs.
Right, that makes sense.
It could be. And also, isn't that what multiplayer is? Is missions like the vaults that you don't have to attack?
It could be.
That you can attack in multiplayer?
I don't think they got into that, but it could be.
Granted, the
thought that was
survey
on the
was a
leak.
long time ago, so I don't know how...
I had to dive well into that leak for one of my videos, so I kind of know it. I know it pretty well. And I pretty much the Mass Effect multiplayer, they don't get into specifics other than small objectives, but there is a multiplayer element to potential strikes that could be in Remnant Vaults.
With all future Bioware games, there will probably be some form of multiplayer, because EA kind of mandated that all their games have, quote, an online component. So that basically translates to, like, multiplayer.
They technically, you could have a pet Varen that you need to feed every couple hours online.
But you have to buy and purchase things for said Varen. Like, I don't know, to change its color or something. I don't know.
Okay, now here's the thing. Do you want co-op, online co-op in Mass Effect Andromeda?
Yeah.
I don't
I'd
know
like
how
that.
that
I
would
would
work
love-
though. If you're writer, then bringing on another writer would kind of be weird. But like the co-op multiplayer kind of thing, yes.
It could be, well, think of something like, have you ever played Far Cry 4?
No.
Okay, well, Far Cry 4, the co-op for that is you play, like, whoever is host plays as Ajay Ghale, who's the main character of Far Cry 4, and the player 2 is Husk, he's like a random guy that shows up a few times, and you can do side missions, like the take out outposts and things like that, but main missions you cannot do. So I think that'd be really cool to do like a few side missions in Andromeda.
Okay.
But you can't do the main missions. But, you know, if you want to hop on with a friend for a few hours and do these 4 small side quests.
And then like player 2 would be like some random soldier person.
Yeah, some random soldier with their armor on or whatnot.
Okay. What does player 2 get benefit in their game, or are they just playing with their friend?
Well, similar to Far Cry 4 is you get to keep any money that you find when you're playing with a friend, or any random salvage stuff that you can sell, or skins.
So you get the loot. Okay, that sounds alright.
Yeah, so you'll get loot.
Cool.
I would love that for Mass Effect Andromeda.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
I'd be down
I
for
don't
that.
think you're going to see that right away, but I think it would be a fantastic DLC pack. You know how they have additional stories like, let's say, Lair of the Shadow Broker, which I'm sure you've all played. Fantastic DLC. Instead, it's a DLC that can be played with one character or 2 characters, and you each have dialogue options. Extremely complex, but I think to start,
that sounds pretty ambitious.
You might want to nail Mass Effect Andromeda. That's what I'm worried about. Is it sounds awesome, like super ambitious. And I'd love them to have the game be fantastic first.
While I enjoy this co-op idea we're throwing around, I would like to prioritize them making a good, solid game before they decide to, do totally new things.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's anything that I've learned from game design, it is throw out the biggest, best ideas that you can have, and then prototype, try them out, and if it doesn't work, either scale it down or throw it out.
I'd rather
So
they get
I'm
like the
wondering-
story solid before they throw in a co-op.
Yeah, I mean that's what Mass Effect is best known for. Like today, I played a lot of No Man's Sky, and that feels like they have this amazing concept, but it didn't really deliver as well. And it would be super nice if Andromeda could just have this really solid story that we can all thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah, the game itself already, if we're going to talk all the way back to that big red lake, it's hugely ambitious. And I don't know if they can fit in co-op story missions, but I would love for them to do that in the future.
Well,
I think
know
there's a lot of potential there.
With Inquisition, a lot of stuff they were trying to do, they weren't able to do because of last gen, like dragging them down in their capabilities. Because a lot of stuff they wanted to do would make your Xbox 360 light itself on fire. So I'm guessing that Andromeda, now that they're purely current gen, it will be a lot easier to do cool stuff. But at the same time, that Reddit leak did seem pretty ambitious.
All right, here's a question that I get a lot, and I want to bounce around. Why aren't Mass Effect 2 and 3 playable on the Xbox One yet?
That is a good question. We don't know why, because the multi-disc thing is no longer an issue, so I don't know why, unless they're holding off until or closer to launch to be like, hey, play our previous games or something, you know?
You think they might be done and they're like, maybe December, they're like, check this out, you can play the old Mass Effect games. Also, Mass Effect Andromeda coming in 2 months.
Yeah.
They might even release them in a bundle.
It could also do something like what Emma just said with Gears of War and Halo. What they have is, buy this game and you get the previous titles.
Yeah, maybe like the collector's edition of Andromeda will have the original trilogy with
Halo Wars 2 is, if you pre-order that, you get Halo Wars 1.
Yeah, because when I bought Fallout 4, they gave me Fallout 3 as well. So maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah, they could be potentially doing that, or they might even include the demo if you buy them. I don't know, though. I don't know about demos. I only learned about them today with regard to BioWare, so.
Of course, that only works for the Xbox, but I don't think that would be an issue.
You have unread messages at your private terminal.
BioFan, we got some emails at andromenerds@gmail.com. What do we got?
Well, from Trevor, we have, hey guys, well, you all said what it was that you were looking forward to most in Andromeda. It got me thinking about what it was that I was looking forward to in it. And that would be meeting new companions in the game. The companions have always been a big part of the games for me, especially when you get to have close bonds with them as friends and potential romances. When the game puts hours of it in for you to interact with them and get to know them, you get a connection with them. That's what made the game so special to me and what got me hooked on them in the first place. So my question is, who were the companions you felt most attached to and why? And do you believe that BioWare can pull off ones just as good as them in Andromeda?
Liara! I liked her a lot.
So, the super two-part question, who did I feel most attached? I loved a lot. Probably Garrus for me.
Oh, I really loved Garrus, yeah.
I would say Rex. I loved Rex and Grunt. I loved them both. They were great.
Morden was my absolute favorite.
I liked Jack because she was so different from the others.
Yeah.
I have a hard time, and probably it's one of the reasons why Mass Effect was so great. I have a hard time saying this person was so much better than everyone else.
Yeah, because they're
I don't
all
think that's
great.
the case.
Yeah, they're all
You're
great.
like, there's so many characters, and yeah, I think that's going to be a problem to match that in Andromeda. That's a tough order.
Well, I think they'll go with different character archetypes. So, there'll be different personalities than before. You also have to keep in mind that the cast of characters, they're kind of going for younger than in the original trilogy. Since we're younger, it's kind of matching us. There'll probably be an older character or two there, but the cast is kind of younger. So maybe slightly less mature. I don't know.
No, Grunt was like a year old or less. That's pretty young.
Yeah.
Although Grunt had some also great comments.
Yeah, Grunt was awesome.
Little jokes and such. Crow is adorable.
That's why there's going to be a Krogan, so that's great.
There's at least one
right
Krogan.
there, like number one checkoff. There will be a Krogan.
There will be a Krogan.
That's probably going to laugh about killing people.
Exactly.
What if they make a sensitive Krogan? That would be different.
That would be awesome.
I would pay lots of money.
I stepped on a butterfly. Oh no.
Yeah, he like wants to be a poet and stuff.
Like, do you guys remember the Disney Pixar movie Bug's Life?
Yes.
The caterpillar. Imagine him as like a Krogan.
Oh.
I want the same voice actor too.
Yes. All of it. That caterpillar
that.
is a Krogan. That exact caterpillar as a Krogan.
I would love that.
Do we have to
That'd
shoot them? Can we talk to them instead?
That would get my pre-order immediately.
Like, pre-order confirmed.
But yeah, the
All right, what
characters...
other-
Carry on.
Oh, go ahead. No, you're still continuing. Go about the characters.
Yeah, the characters are just so... I mean, I think for a lot of people, especially people who are sort of more casual players, a lot of people probably got into Mass Effect for the characters. So
I think that was one of the hugest parts, yeah.
yeah.
That was why ME2 was so awesome. It was very character-focused.
Oh, here's a question. It's not really a question. Cody wants a Maverick-style Elcor to pilot the ship.
Oh, I would love that so much.
That would be cool.
As much as I love the Elcor, I don't think they're going to be in Andromeda.
I would love an Elcor on the ship. The reaction times, though, with the Elcor are very, very low.
Maybe they'll maybe be like
a Maverick-like Elcor.
maybe like 5 Elcor came with us. It's like the Royal Elcor family or something.
I just picture the slow reaction speeds of the Elcor. They're like, "Hey, Mr. Elcor, sir, you're riding right into an asteroid field. Patiently, I see it. I will turn. Boom! Ah!
Despairingly, we're all going to die. I really love Elcor. They're so great.
Wait, hold on. Wait. So our next question comes from Blair Stone. Hey team, first I wanted to say that I loved the first episode. Special thanks to BioFan for reaching out to let me know to keep an eye out for it. What are your hopes and concerns for the romance options in Andromeda?
I hope for boobs. I hope for boobs.
I hope I don't have to wait 3 games to romance a gay dude. Or a bi dude. One of those, yeah. And hopefully he won't be overly concerned with his dead husband. So
I imagine you'll be able to romance a gay dude right away, and you'll also get boobs right away.
Oh, yeah, I don't think they're going to take a step back from that.
with judging from Inquisition's romance inclusivity, I think I'll be totally good.
Yeah. I don't know if this is like not a popular opinion, but I didn't like Sarah that much, so I'm kind of hoping, I don't know.
She grew on me, but it took a while.
Yeah, it took a while.
Like the thing
Is
I
it
like,
because she's crazy?
I think like the thing I like about her is like she's so different from the others. Like the others are all very serious and goal oriented, and she's just kind of like, okay, yeah, whatever, we're doing this. All right, cool. She just kind of shoots the shit and goes with the punches, you know.
That's all we've got for today. Join us next week as we talk about our largest fears for Mass Effect Andromeda. If you have any questions for us, Mass Effect related or otherwise, feel free to email us at andromenerds@gmail.com, and your questions may be featured in an upcoming episode. Along with our co-hosts, be sure to follow Andromenerds on Twitter. If you like this podcast and would like to see some more awesome videos, be sure to check out and subscribe to our respective channels. Yeah, we did kind of screw around for a while. Actually, are there
enjoyed-
any other topics?
At the
I
risk
like
of
screwing around.
Yeah, at the risk of you just came out and said it. At the risk of sounding dodgy, I enjoyed screwing around with you guys. It was good.